The only thing that I found that's important to develop in yourself to be able to achieve anything is the feeling of being able to deal with it. Let me explain. Clearly, this sounds a little bit clickbaity and not really realistic because, of course, you need more skills and you need more mindsets that you need to set up in your head. You need things to learn to be able to achieve your goals, go to a new path, learn something new. But clearly, for me, dealing with it is actually the feeling that I try to grow in myself, because this is the groundwork, this is the basement of everything that I try to build on top of it. All the skills, all the tools, all the learnings, all the achievements, it's just on top of the feeling that I'll be able to deal with it. This mindset is being developed from childhood, and there are clearly big differences between how people were raised and how confident they are in what they're doing. There are a lot of examples when girls are so much less willing to try new things or to answer questions in school because they're afraid to fail. They feel like they should really perfectly know something or perfectly fit for the role to be able to apply for this role. And when boys that are taught a little bit differently, they're taught more to take on risks, to try new things. They're more easy and more confident on taking on random tasks, applying for jobs that they're not potentially qualified for. And there is a lot of studies on that. And I feel like this is also what have been keeping me down a little bit to some extent. I definitely was raised more in a, patriarchal society where I had some female expectations, like societal female expectations on myself, but not a lot. So I give kudos to my parents for that. But still, from the very childhood, I'm very afraid to take that first step, to take that first jump, to try something new. I'm constantly thinking before even doing something, how might I fail? How I need to prepare for the failure? What I need to do before that? What I need to avoid doing? And it all ties me down from starting something new. At work, this feeling of not being able to deal with it, or this fear of trying something new when you don't know how you're gonna do, really manifests itself in avoiding learning new things, avoiding learning new tools, constantly doing your task in the same way with the same methods, and not kind of growing yourself into new roles or more senior roles. And I'm definitely guilty of that. Like, seriously, every time I have this task or something that requires me to learn something new, I have this internal urge to I don't wanna, why should I do that? Nah, I don't want to learn. I'm trying to clearly hide it very well because I don't want my colleagues to know that, which is partially fear of vulnerability and insecurity. But we live in the society where we kind of have to pretend that we got it all together. And I'm not perfect yet in being vulnerable and saying that I'm not. I don't have it all together. And the remedy to that is actually just doing it. I'm trying now to grow this feeling of I can deal with anything. I can deal with anything that comes my way. And I use two main sort of techniques, let's call it that, 2 steps, how to kind of build this skill in myself. The first one is that I try to acknowledge what I've already done and what I've already been through and what I learned through those things. So I literally just sit down with my notebook, I write down my accomplishments, my achievements, I write down what kind of skills that gave me. So skill of, interviewing for this position was very different from another one because there was a very challenging hiring manager that I needed to talk to, or this technical test was very different to something that I've done before, so I learned how to do this thing, or I completely didn't know how this interview process would go and it was very new, but I still managed to deal with it. Like, I had to do a presentation just on the go during the interview process, and I was not prepared for that. And those don't have to be things that you do at work. It could be just real life things that you've achieved or you've been through. That could be positive, or unfortunately could be negative. All of this can feed into your feeling of being able to deal with it. List all those achievements, all those traumatic maybe events or some kind of positive events that you've been through, breakups that you've been through, any kind of new experience that seemed very challenging and very hard in the beginning can feed into your feeling of next time if anything happens similar to this, I can deal with it. And the second step, was it a step? The second concept? No, how did I call it? And the second step on how to kind of encourage and nurture this feeling of being able to deal with anything is to constantly try new things. I know this is hard and challenging, and I know that we are kind of wired into trying new things only when they're in some way useful to us, when they're feeding into our goals, when they are helping our development. Like, there are a lot of software engineers and data scientists that learn new things all the time, but they're all very similar to their work and their role, and it's really good for their role progression. But maybe it's something that's not enough out of your comfort zone to actually learn something new that will make you feel like you can deal with anything that comes your way. For me, clearly the YouTube channel is one of those things. It's very different from what I'm doing at work. Generally, it's a very, very different experience, and I've been very frightened and very scared to post videos online, especially because of the negative comments and weird comments that you receive when you share something about yourself online, and it really kind of kept me back from posting videos more frequently. But the more and more of those negative things I get, or the more and more positive and nice and encouraging comments I get, the easier for me it is to feel like I'll be able to deal with it. Like, it won't hurt me, it won't make me feel bad about myself. And I totally do not say that this is normal to accept this kind of behavior. I don't think it's normal, and I don't think we should be like, oh, this is internet. We are the people on the internet, and we can try to change how people behave on the internet. So this is not to discount that this is a weird thing to do, but it's more about the feeling of, you know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with it now. I know how much can it affect me. I know how can I behave in those situations, whether I want to reply or don't want to reply, or want to block the person right away. And it helps me to become more confident. It helps me to feel like, yeah, well, we'll post this video where I show my day, and I know that people might react negatively, but I can deal with it. And the more and more new things you do in your life, the more and more you grow this feeling that you can deal with it. Now, of course, I don't want to discount the part that financial freedom really, really affects how much you feel like you can deal with something, because financial means are usually helping you to deal better with illnesses, with sicknesses, with problems at work, with general problems at life. So it's not only the mindset, it's also the situation you're in, the privileges that you're having based on your race and skin color, based on your gender. Clearly, this is not the only thing that you need to do to be able to feel confident in the society that we live in, but it really helps me and really helped me in the last year to feel more confident about just being vulnerable at work, or sharing my videos on YouTube, or telling people exactly how I feel and not trying to soften the blow or try to be nice, because I know I can deal with it. I know that I can deal with however they react. I know that I can deal with however my colleagues react to me being vulnerable and open. I know I can deal with whatever comes on YouTube, hopefully. Please don't try to prove me wrong and just do something really weird. Yeah, this is a short video to encourage you to try new things. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of not achieving your goals within them. Try something that you haven't done before. The more new things you try, the more it feeds into your feeling like, I can deal with it. And honestly, it's an amazing feeling. I recommend everyone to get there. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.